The one homecoming where friends came home actually featured friends coming back to Marshall as Missouri Valley's homecoming took a more traditional look. I'm Adam Balkin and this is KMVC News. KMVC News begins its homecoming coverage with the Missouri Valley College Hall of Fame, which honors anyone who has made a significant contribution to the Missouri Valley's athletic department. KMVC's Austin Bolin reports on the latest inductees of Missouri Valley's athletic.
Missouri Valley College recognized the 2021 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees over the weekend during a reception and luncheon in the Malcolm Center. The 2021 class includes Warren Dew, Raul Roldan, Mike Hedrick, Justin Palmer, Kerry Moore, and the 1966 baseball team. Moore is the first Hall of Fame inductee to be recognized as an athletic trainer. Moore says she is honored to be a part of the Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's a dream come true. It's the biggest honor for me to represent such a great place with great people here.
The current class were voted into the Hall of Fame during spring of 2020. Missouri Valley Athletic Director Tom Pfeiffer says Valley waited a year and a half to celebrate the class because of COVID-19.
The summer with COVID and stuff, we were not able to have the Hall of Fame, so we canceled. So we just postponed everything and moved it up a year.
Athletic Hall of Fame inductees are selected by a Hall of Fame board made up of Missouri Valley administrators and previously inducted Hall of Fame members. Andy Pulverenti says the board focuses on athletic success when selecting inductees.
We tend to look at individual accomplishments first, or at least I do. Were they an All-American? Do they hold any records in the particular sport that they played?
Missouri Valley College has inducted more than 200 athletes and trainers into the hall since it was established in 1969. Austin Bolin, KMVC News.
2020 was the first year without a Hall of Fame induction class in the 52-year history of the Hall of Fame. The Missouri Valley students worked on a banner to show in the homecoming parade. KMVC's Maria Lopez reports on the latest news about the banner winner.
6 different students from Missouri Valley worked on a poster last week where the winner would be featured in the homecoming parade and have a $100 prize. However, the students didn't know who is the winner yet and they did not appear in the parade. Leonardo Fukumoto, one of the students who participated, explained his banner and why he should win.
I was trying to merge Halloween and homecoming, festive colors, bright colors, and Halloween a little bit. This is kind of scary. I hope I can win. It took me a long time to do it, but we don't know who's gonna win. They didn't tell us anything.
Students are anxiously waiting to know who the winner is because of all the time it has taken to create the poster. They will know it soon this week. Maria Lopez, KMVC News.
With the return of homecoming comes the return of the torch run. As KMVC's Sharon Thompson reports, this event is a special event that Valley holds dear to its heart.
The torch run is a very special event for Valley that has been a tradition for several years. But over the years, things have drastically changed in many ways. Now the torch run is where students are selected from different teams on campus to run a little less than a 5K, otherwise known as 3 laps around the whole campus. Usually it's just the torch run and the pep rally, but this year they've added food trucks to the tradition. MVC's Associate Athletic Director, Mike Mockles, says that he wants to keep the tradition going.
Well, it's just the tradition. I mean, you think about that. You had 56 kids run 1,800 miles plus, to start that tradition, and have been going since the 60s. So I think it's really important to keep some of those traditions alive. I think in our society today, traditions get lost and overlooked and forgotten about, and I just think that's one of our great stories of some of the students, what they came up with in the past. And I think it's very important that we keep this alive in some way.
Since the torch run can be what it used to be back in the 60s, Mockles says that they've changed a little to make it their own.
And we kind of have now morphed it into something a little bit different. Now it's more of a bragging rights to keep the semblance of running from the other institution, more of a bragging rights run for all the programs on campus. They give us 2 competitors, and they do a 5K basically and have a little bit of a run so that at the end they can talk smack on the other programs and have some fun.
Even though the torch run looks a little different than how it was originally ran in the 60s, Valley is still making it a priority to keep it a tradition even if that means changing a few things. Sharon Thompson, KMVC News.
The torch run tradition at Valley started with the 1958 Tangerine Bowl and continued through the 1960s when Professor Ed Leslie and athletes from different teams would run a torch from homecoming opponents' campus to Marshall. Students this semester are experiencing midterm week differently than students last year, as COVID protocols restricted students a year ago from study groups and face-to-face sessions with tutors. This semester, for midterm week, students have the option to continue study groups and meet with tutors in a learning center. COVID-19 hit college campuses in the spring 2020, forcing schools to send students home and shift classes online. In fall 2020, the COVID protocols restricted students from meeting on campus to hold study groups and from meeting face-to-face with tutors in a learning center. This semester, things are starting to move in the right direction as students have the opportunity to hold study groups and visit with tutors. Missouri Valley College tutor Anna Osorio says she is needed very often.
Actually a lot, because a lot of my teammates, they need help with their bio classes and chemistry. And also a lot of people just walk in and they sit and ask for mainly stats and bio.
Osorio says it's now easy for her to schedule study tables.
It was hours, so you know how now the science center is open in the afternoons. So I can schedule study tables with classes I work with, like groups. So it's easier. Last year we couldn't do that because of COVID. So.
The Learning Center is open Monday through Thursday from 7:30 to 4 in the afternoon and 7:30 to 3:30 on Fridays. As academic support so students can achieve their full potential. The Learning Center also provides free tutors and an open door policy to the office of the director. One of the items that comes up with the temperatures heading down is food security in the home. And one of the answers that helps address this regarding children in need of the Buddy Pack program. KMVC's Courtney Cole reports on how the program is helping feed families in central and northeast Missouri.
The Buddy Pack program is to help feed hungry students who are not able to get full meals at home.
If the community could help the food bank support those kids and fully fund that program, that'd be great. And of course, with more funding we get, the more schools, more kids that are able to come on board that we can support.
White says that he hopes that people will keep donating to the program to help feed children who are in need of food.
Oh, we're just looking for trying to feed as many children as we can that need food. That's the whole purpose of it, you know. The more kids we can feed, the better. We don't turn anyone away, you know. If there's a need, we try to put them in our list and make sure they have food every weekend.
White and Brock says that the donation of $25 can help the food bank give 100 meals to students. Courtney Cole, KMVC News.
The Buddy Pack program is currently ongoing. More information about the program is on sharefoodbringhope.org. The homecoming festivities continue from the initial planning stages without interruption because of declining COVID numbers, both on campus and in the region. For the second week in a row, Missouri Valley has 2 active COVID-19 cases in the campus population. That's a positive rate within the community of the 0.11%. The continuance of low number and led to a change in on-campus masking policies. That story is next week on KMVC's News. Norse and Danish invaders beat drums on their ships and beat their shields and formations with a wood Viking. And the drums are beating at the Missouri Valley College sporting events. KMVC's Marina Diaz reports on how Summer Valley students have partnered with the music department to bring a lot of beat to the games.
The Purple Ensemble has been gathering at games to bring music and support to the athletic events on Valley's campus. Matias Makira says it all started to support the women's volleyball team.
We were going to the MVC volleyball games, the women games, and we saw that there was a lot of support for the team. There was a lot of people in the stands, so we thought about bringing something to cheer up the games and to bring the people together.
Makira says that the music department helped get them the bass drum they needed.
And this was thought about a month ago. We thought about buying one, but then we asked the music department, and we got the help of them, and we could borrow some of the drums from them.
Blanca Villara has been a part of the group since they began and says she joined to bring a positive energy to the games.
Well, actually, I think that for the teams, it have like a positive impact because you know that you have people that is cheering you up, that want to be on the games, that it's like involved.
The Purple Ensemble currently consists of 5 members and hopes to attend as many home events as they can. Marina Diaz, KMVC News.
The Missouri Valley football team finished the first half of its season with a 3-3 mark against teams from the Heart of America Athletic Conference, North Division. But its last 5 games of the season against the South that determined whether Valley can qualify for the postseason. The Vikings opened the schedule against the South with his homecoming game against 3-3 Evangel. Evangel held a 24-3 lead in the second quarter with Valor quarterback Dylan Decker was interception by Gerald Osborne. That was the second turnover of the first half and set up Valley for his first touchdown of the day. A 13-yard pass from Darren Cole to Keenan Young, the extra point was no good, so the Vikings trailed 24-9 at the break. After another Evangel turnover, Cole found Kalia Dampier for a 38-yard score, and the Vikings were down just 8. The Valor drove inside the Missouri Valley 5-yard line when the Decker was interception in the end zone by Drew Peterson, and Peterson returned it 100 yards for the touchdown. That's a new Missouri Valley record, breaking on the old mark of 94 yards. The extra point pulled Valley to within 1 point, but that was as close as the Vikings would get. Evangel added a pair of field goals and ran out the clock on Missouri Valley's homecoming comeback, winning 30-23. Darren Cole was the Chitwood winner for the most outstanding senior in the homecoming game. Cole was 19 of 34 for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Vikings next head to Benedictine. The Missouri Valley's women's soccer team owns the best record in the program's history, coming with a 10-2 overall mark and a perfect 7-0 slate in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. The Vikings' only 2 losses in the other year were both 1-0 decision. The most recent was in a double overtime to number 13, Columbia. So the Vikings were trying to keep their conference mark perfect in a homecoming Friday matinee against Clarke. The game was scoreless late in the first half when Valley's Morgan Dirks notched her 5th goal of the season to give the Vikings a 1-0 lead. Clarke tied it in the game's 61st minute, and it stayed that way until the final minutes when Valley's Emily Rodriguez scored off a pass to the center in the game's 87th minute. Missouri Valley improved to an 8-0 with a 2-1 win, setting up Wednesday's showdown with a 9-0 5th-ranked CMU on Wednesday night in Fayette. The winner would be in the position to host the postseason games throughout the conference tournament. The Missouri Valley men's soccer team was also looking to bounce back with a conference win after a non-conference loss to number 3 Oklahoma Wesleyan. Valley manager Drew Schlingman goal in the 41st minute to take the 1-0 lead to the break, but the Vikings exploded in the second half. Schlingman scored his second in the 49th minute, and then scored his third in the 68th minute to record the hat trick. It's Valley's second hat trick in the last 3 games. And those 3 goals give Schlingman a team best 10 goals on the season. Missouri Valley added 3 more goals. Dusan Milosevic earned his 5th shutout as the Vikings defeat the Pride 6-0. Valley's now 6-2 in the second place in the Hart standings, heading to his match with the number 1 CMU Wednesday in Fayette. The Morrison Gallery is hosting its first exhibit of the fall semester under the new COVID guidelines. It's called The ABCs of Folklore and the Slang Told in 26 Linocuts by artist Debbie Gilley. Gilley is an artist native to southern Missouri, and she creates images that reflect an Ozark heritage by using a style of printmaking called relief printmaking. The exhibit is free and masks are required for entry, but does have restricted hours. The exhibit runs through November 23rd. And that's KMVC's news for this week. I'm Adam Balkin.